eclipse how far the world slipped in the abyss. We modern day prophets, the system got a glitch. I thank the most high, my weakness turned to strength, but these burdens are heavy. We got our crosses to carry, trying to see it from all angles, just like kaleidoscopes. Life just be too real that I don't know how to joke. My people be running wild, so aggressive is my approach. Doctrines of devils, tossing people like to and fro. Your pastor don't want to smoke. These scriptures go blow for blow. My Hebrews go toe to toe. We waking our people up. The truth it hit hard, so it's shaking the people up. Strangers give evil eyes. Wisdom make faces shine. I'm bolder than cat letters, but smoother than black leather. One love to my ancestors, but it's time we demand better. One love to my ancestors, but it's time we demand better. We taking over, we taking over, we taking over, taking over, we taking over. Yeah, look at what the world's coming to. Yeah, just look at what the world is coming to. Yeah, we taking over, we taking over, we taking over, we taking over. Yeah, just look at what the world's coming to. Just look at what the world's coming to. Too many bloodthirsty merchants lurking while we searching. They doing witchcraft, but this armor ain't for piercing. My sword is for wielding. Slice through a body, I can slice through a building. Style with the substance on the path to justice. But these scornful men bring the city to a snare. I bring it to your door before you caught up in the web. That means the streets is a trap. Better use your head. You better use your head. Swimming with the sharks, you might lose your head. Arms, neck, and legs. We got a long way to go to resurrecting the dead. It's a call for unity, Messianic believers. I mean the dark-skinned redeemer. I ain't talking about Caesar. We remember our brother. We ain't got no amnesia. That's from Genesis to Revelations. We in the volumes, riding on white stallions. 144,000. We taking over, taking over. We taking over, taking over. We taking over. Yeah. Just look at what the world's coming to. Just look at what the world's coming to. We taking over, taking over. We taking over, taking over. We taking over. Yeah. Just look at what the world's coming to. Just look at what the world's coming to. Yeah. Truth begotten by hard work, putting the higher first, the creator of all things, colossal this universe. We not in the minor leagues, my city is under siege, not caught up in drama. That's just what that folly brings. Dodging them harlots, man, keep them charlatans away from me. Lust is the devil's tea, won't burn till you take a sip. Temptation is all around, get a grip and try not to slip. I'm feeling so much better that I'm making the right choices, listening to the right voices. Too many elders just sitting on their high horses like they don't need reinforcement. Yeah, it's all pride to the side. Either we ride or collide, do or we die, stand firm or we slide. Yes, then take a word from the wise. Stay humble cause your pride will lead to your demise. And that's real. We taking over, we taking over. Taking over, taking over, we taking over, yeah. Just look at what the world is coming to. Just look at what the world's coming to. We taking over, we taking over, taking over, taking over, we taking over, yeah. Just look at what the world's coming to. Just look at what the world's coming to.
Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed coming through with another video. Welcome to another live stream. All right, let's get this. All right. We're going to do some current events. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world. First and foremost, let me greet you all. See who we are. See who's all in the building here. We got Black Funnel in here. Anthony Cruz. Free Mind. Yeah. Love and Squalor. Fearless Soul 777. Yeah. Maya Yisrael. Chosen Child. Tammy Bowers. Yeah, Vibey 1K, Saved by Grace. Man, Gerard Nichols, Judah the Lion, Awakened Minds. Man, it's good to see y'all catching another live stream. If you just joining, make sure you hit that thumbs up so we can allow YouTube to send those notifications out. Today we're going to go into some things. You know how we normally do. We're going to make sure that this live stream is very interactive. And we're going to make sure that we get a lot of questions that's been unanswered answered. Right. For those who was wondering where that song is on my SoundCloud at I Am New Breed. So follow me on SoundCloud at I Am New Breed, because everything that I'm going to be dropping is going to be exclusively put to SoundCloud. All right. Mark Lauderson, I'm glad you catching a live stream. Oh, Scorpion come right out swinging. What are my thoughts on Christmas? Well, the Christmas holiday is actually an ancient pagan belief system. It goes into the Babylonian mystery system. All right. They celebrated it even during crisis time. It was called Saturnalia back in the day. And Saturnalia is when a lot of debauchery took place. You know what I'm saying? People beat their wives and had all kind of lewd misconduct. And, you know, it was pretty much a pagan worship. So that's Christmas. I mean, if you look at it on a very minute surface, right? Look at it like this. They worship a deity, or they give reverence to a deity called Santa Claus, right? You switch one letter in Santa Claus, you got Satan, right? You switch one letter in Santa, you got Satan. So you got Satan. And then what is a clause, ladies and gentlemen? A clause is an agreement. So we're talking about Satan's agreement. So when you let your child sit on Santa Claus' lap in the mall, you're basically sacrificing out a Moloch. Satanic, all around the board. You got this man wearing red coming about the fireplace. So, hey, you do the math on it. But that's Christmas in a nutshell. Absolutely. Kimbo Slice broke it down as well. It's the birth of Nimrod. When you go to Jeremiah chapter 10, it tells you that not to cut down a tree and lace it with ornaments, deck it with gold and silver. See, in history, when Nimrod died, which was an ancient ruler who persecuted the children of Israel, when he died, his mother commanded the children to put a tree, well, actually, let me rephrase that, a tree erected over his grave, basically, when he died. And his mother commanded the children of Israel to put gifts underneath the tree. So back in those days, people were doing it out of fear. And now the pattern just continues. So that's Christmas. Absolutely. It's pagan. It's demonic. It's a ritual. If you look at it during the Christmas holiday, it's pretty much the biggest suicide time. More people are killing themselves around Christmas time. And you can look up the statistics on that. I know a lot of people were asking about my last live stream. This is why it's important to turn your notifications on. I'm glad you all are catching this live, because every live that I do won't make it to the surface, ladies and gentlemen. That's what y'all got to understand. That's why it's important to catch these videos live. As you can see, I'm normally got my red wine, but I'm sipping the white wine this evening. Hey, let me ask you all this. How many people have been following what's going on with Nick Cannon and Eminem? Have y'all been following this? I actually find this kind of interesting. This whole scenario between Nick Cannon and Eminem. I actually wanted to speak on that. People saying not really. Some people have been. All right. So the reason I find it necessary to speak on this, right, is because I realize that anytime black men are defending black women in the public's eye, I see a lot of things transpiring after that happens. But I see some people have not been looking into that. But I tend to learn from every type of scenario and every type of situation that's taking place. And for those who are not familiar with what I'm speaking about, for years now, Eminem the rapper, he's been dissing Nick Cannon's ex-wife, Mariah Carey, right? And Nick Cannon haven't been really saying anything about it. He kind of been staying to himself. And finally, he responded with like 3 diss tracks. And I found it interesting the way he decided to deal with it. And somebody asked, do I like Nick Cannon's diss track? I do. I like the last 2 diss tracks. I do. Yep. Yes, somebody says Nick Cannon knows that we the children of Israel. Yeah, he does. And just watching what Nick Cannon did, you know, I gotta respect. I gotta respect what he did and how he handled it. Because the thing about it is, the guy was minding his business, trying to stay clean cut, do his job, and finally, he decided to respond. And he did it in a way where he could put right in the media's face, right in the eyes of the public, what's going on with how he dealt with our people. So I just found it interesting that they sent all of these cronies out to react to Nick Cannon's song and try to kind of minimize what he exposed. But I just thought I'd bring that out real quick because it's something I kind of briefly looked into. But you got to respect that. You got to respect how that brother dealt with that. I mean, it's sort of like that kid in school, right? Trying to stay on a clean path, right? Trying to just do what it is they do. They just trying to get their grades, or they just trying to keep a clean image and handle their business. And then somebody just takes that for a weakness. People take kindness for a weakness a lot. People take kindness for a weakness a lot. So I was glad that Nick Cannon addressed that. Because, you know, I'm going to tell you like this. It's not easy trying to stay on that straight and narrow when people are constantly throwing stones and trying to drag you into stuff. But but that person who's trying to mind their own business, that's the person you need to look out for. All right, let's see. We got some questions coming up. Somebody asked, was I Christian? I'm a follower of Christ. Absolutely. I'm a Christian without the pagan influence, if that makes any sense. Before Emperor Roman Constantine influenced Christianity, I deal with the Bible as it is written. Yeah, absolutely. People take that kindness for weakness. They'll know that you are lying, but they just want to see the teeth. They just want you to sink into them. You know, you trying to mind your business and take care of your family and walk a straight and narrow path. And then people force your hand. Somebody asked, what are my thoughts on Takashi getting out a 47-year minimum sentence because he snitched? Well, you got to understand Takashi 6ix9ine has been set up as a proxy for a while. You got to look at the timeline of certain events that took place with Takashi while he was free. Hip hop has agents as well. Just put it like that. And everything that seemed to be one way is not that way. Far as we know, Takashi never been in jail. Far as we know, this is all an act. Believe half of what you hear, or believe nothing you hear rather, and half of what you see. Jeffrey, for instance, makes a good point. They are making it cool to snitch. They are absolutely making it cool to snitch. And what the whole Takashi situation was about was degrading the gangs. That was the last militant forefront that the powers that be had to decimate. So they put this character known as Takashi 6ix9ine, which everybody seems to be infatuated with. And they put this character before us so he can pretty much draw a script out. All right. And this script basically boils down to breaking the whole code of conduct of the gangs. Now it's going to be okay for them to snitch. Now it's going to be okay to be a snitch. I'm telling you now. A lot of young brothers and sisters think they're going to be able to snitch and get out of prison. Truth is, they not Takashi 6ix9ine. Joshua Israel, shalom. Thoughts on Eastern philosophy and New Age spirituality? That's a good question. Eastern philosophy, at one point in time, all it was Persian mythology. All it was Persian mythology, which is idol worship, idolatry, serving many gods. So what I think about it is, of course, me personally, I believe there's one God, one truth, one light, one way to get to the Father. Anything else outside of that is confusion. So I hope that answers your question. This is part of the reason we have the moral decay and moral disarray in this world right now. Too many people serving too many gods, too many ideologies, too much confusion. And see, what the New Age is about is getting everybody to accept everything. It's about acceptance. When we know that love and acceptance is not synonymous. So the New Age agenda leaves it no room for you to correct anybody. The New Age agenda leaves it no room for anybody to be set apart or righteous or holy. They want everybody to dwell in their own sins and fall device to their own sins. Alfonso Joshua says, how do we find out we're royal blood? You got to understand that your spirit bears witness to the truth, as the scriptures say. When you read the holy text, you'll find out if you're in a royal bloodline because your spirit will bear witness to such. Now, remember, in the scriptures, it tells us not to judge a Jew outwardly, but inwardly. We don't judge the chosen outwardly, but inwardly. See, the blood and the spirit coexist, coincide, are one. Why do you think the powers that be study the blood so much? Why do you think that they have lobotomists? Why do you think they have Red Cross, Blue Shield? Why do you think they make it a concerted effort in getting all the blood, putting them in databases, trying to trace lineages, trying to trace bloodlines and endless genealogies? Because they know there's a royal seed. They know there's a royal bloodline. A lot of us are actually related to great kings and queens. And we may be living in poverty, but we still exude those same character traits. And that's why we're able to have the liberty to be in certain situations. We'll have certain knowledge and impulses, and that came all the way through your lineage, your bloodline. I'm glad that makes sense to you. I'm glad I answered your question. Denito Goda says, what are your thoughts on the calm before the storm? In all honesty, it's to the point where I don't even see the calm. When you're looking at this world spiritually and you see what's going on around you, you can see the chaos. You can see the chaos full-fledged. You see the spirits operating. So, to those who can see, there's no calm. We just see things drawing near every day, every day. We just see things getting a little bit more out of hand, but at the same time, we are still calm and we're still collected because we know what's going to happen after this. We can see into the future. You got people in this life that can see into the future. You got people in this life who live in the past. And then you got people who just live day to day. The Most High's chosen. We look beyond what's on the surface. On American Horror Story, Season 8, they track down the elect ones by using DNA ancestry websites. Quite interesting, brother. Thank you for sharing that. That kind of makes you wonder. I've said this once and I say this again. The internet, they call it a net for a reason. The World Wide Web, they call it a web for a reason. So that's quite interesting. And that also shows you when the Bible says your spirit will bear witness to the truth, to your lineage, who you are. Your spirit will bear witness. That means you ain't got to go through no ancestry. You ain't got to go through no blood DNA test. Your spirit, when you read it, you actually can feel like, hey, I'm reading about my great, 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 great granddad. So that's quite interesting. Child of God 777, thank you, family. I'm glad you're getting edified. Absolutely. What are your thoughts on the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's teachings? Whatever teacher that you're learning from, and I'm even speaking for myself. Anybody you learn from, you get the meat, you spit out the bones. You're not going to agree with everything that everybody teach. Whatever helps you in your walk and edifies you, use the discernment that's given. I feel like a lot of times we put too much stock in trust in teachers when we should be getting a revelation that the Most High is trying to bestow upon us instead of you worshiping that person or looking at that person as something special. I tell you right now, I'm dirt. I'm nothing. Anything that you may be edified with, that's all praise to the Most High. You understand? That don't have nothing to do with me. I'm just a voice. So that's my advice with any teacher, first and foremost. Because anybody you ask me about personally, it's going to be things that I agree with. They're going to be things I disagree with. That's just what it is. But that doesn't mean that we got to go out our way to be disrespectful or anything like that. And that's what we have issues with now within the community. Okay, seeing somebody saying, "Do you think Drake sold his soul?" I think a lot of Hollywood entertainers, musicians, celebrities, I think a lot of them have sold their souls. It wouldn't surprise me if Drake is one of them. I did a show called Knocking Down Idols like a year back, which I'm going to end up moving to Patreon, where I exposed a lot of what's going on in the celebrity world. A lot of things that probably wasn't, well, definitely wasn't mainstream. Awoken Mind says thoughts on curse words. Well, you got to understand there's a difference between a cuss word and a curse word. There's a difference between a cuss word and a curse word. See, a cuss word is just words that certain people find undesirable. Some people find certain language undesirable, which could be classified as ebonics. We can make up some quote unquote cuss words. We can get creative with it, make up some cuss words, right? Words that are undesirable to others. Then you have actual curse words. Now, a curse word is if I say, I hope you get hit by the 9:15 train tomorrow morning. I just cursed you, literally. That's a curse. Saying I hope, exactly, a spell. Telling somebody I hope, all hell, fire, and brimstone falls upon you. That's a curse word. So me personally, I don't have no issue with somebody using a cuss word. Where I'm from, that's language. Now I keep it clean on YouTube, but where I'm from, that's language. It's undesirable language to some. Doesn't bother me. Yeah, Yesha says foul language. Yeah, some people consider it foul. Absolutely, family. If y'all in this live stream, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Because in this live right here, we going over all the unanswered questions. We talking about current events. It's been a lot of excellent questions. Y'all have been doing a phenomenal job with narrating. That's why I love building with like-minded people. Because iron sharpens iron. That's an excellent scripture. 2 Corinthians 11:6. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. So just because somebody is rude in speech doesn't mean that their knowledge is lacking. Some people are raised straight in the gutter. Trey Banks says, have you seen what the Pope is doing? No. What's going on with the Pope? I seen people saying that a lot in this live. What's going on with the Pope? Daz, I'm glad you're getting edified. Daz says 10 minutes in this live, more knowledge and truth than a year of school. That's what's up, family. Stay tuned, because we just scratching the surface. Brother, will you accept any type of gift tomorrow? Absolutely not. Yeah, a lot of other people want to know what's going on with the Pope as well. Somebody says, what do you think about the third eye? The third eye is simply your pineal gland. I feel like the conscious community, along with a lot of spiritual esoteric